More on Harmony Central. My apologies, this is an ugly looking slide. So skim through the reviews and their overall ratings, paying close attention to the customer support section of each review. Remember, this article is about the business, not the magic in the amp. Do not take into consideration a 10 rating for phone calls returned when going through the buying and selling process. Granted, it's a good indicator on the level of service you'll receive afterwards, but it is not the indicator. Do not dismiss the negatives. People are more vocal about bragging rights and singing praises than dissing somebody's business, even if they're getting a raw deal. Not every product on Harmony Central deserves a 10 rating across the board. Sometimes it's difficult to pick apart what is sales support and what is customer support. Stated warranties that are regurgitated from a website to a Harmony Central review are only as good as the amp builder stays in business. If they are selling on eBay, how many have they sold and what is their overall feedback rating? Check the seller's feedback. The eBay community is fairly honest about what they pay for when they get it. Keep in mind the feedback rating for eBay is only for the past year. Click on the seller's name, then browse their selling history for at least a 2-year time frame. I've seen some amp builders build a reputable business on eBay and have grown to become recognizable names across many guitar forums and review sites. Check the purchase options and delivery times. Refer to the PayPal section of this presentation for that. Do they require you to pay the full amount up front? If you're not purchasing your amp through eBay and the amp builder does not take credit cards, paying the full amount up front is both risky and shady. Certain amp builders will require a reasonable, non-refundable deposit, then request payment in full when the amp is to be shipped out. Overall, this is a really good business practice. This ensures the seller is protected for purchasing materials for a build. It also ensures the full purchase amount of your funds are not tied up for the 80 to 80 weeks for a delivery or refund. Does the amp builder's website include a physical mailing address? I don't understand why this would not be the case. Are they hiding something? I just don't get it. My opinion is, for any business website, there should be no reason not to include a mailing address. When communicating with an amp builder, do not confuse a purchasing or sales inquiry with a customer support call. True, a quick response to an email or phone call before a purchase is a good indicator of the level of service you may receive afterward. But as cynical as this sounds, remember, they want you to buy an amp from them. And once you lay your good money down and your PayPal dispute period is ended, you may no longer be treated as their bestie. More on communicating with the amp builder. Do they keep you on the phone to talk about things unrelated to an amp purchase? If you call for a simple query and they end up blathering on idiotically for 45 minutes about nothing, it's unprofessional. It's also a good indicator this unprofessionalism bleeds into other parts of their business practices. Consider looking for an online boutique amp/music store. Do not feel intimidated. They're there to help people of all playing levels. They do most of the hard work for you. They are experienced. They play with these toys all day. They stake part of their reputation on carrying these amps, and they know what to look for in a boutique amp builder. Not just the stuff in this particular article, but also in the build quality and the sound. They can answer your questions and help guide you to a more informed purchasing decision. There are many reputable ones who try not to carry everything under the sun, but instead handpick their vendors to offer you something they believe will keep their customers happy. The amp builder is not a god of any sort. Now, granted, there have been some awesome and interesting innovations in the past 12 years or so as the competition to build the best boutique amp has started, but bear in mind the following. Most boutique amps on the market today are copies of an original design from the 50s through the 70s. Some of the boutique amps being sold today are copying modifications done by a handful of legends in the guitar amp industry. With reference to these 2 points, if an amp builder at any time tells you, "Nobody can do what I do," they're completely full of shit. I commend anyone for building an awesome product and expressing passion about it and what they do. But if they don't have their business chops or the people skills to do it on their own, look elsewhere. In closing, similar to astrology, we can sometimes base our beliefs, or in this case purchasing decisions, on a fallacy of positive instances. We turn a blind eye towards any negative rumblings when what we want to believe as fact isn't. I'm guilty as charged, and this is the reason I wrote this article. Not every bit of this presentation criteria needs to be met by an amp builder. They should, however, be considered as guidelines towards making a better purchasing decision of your boutique amp. I'm hoping this presentation will actually help some new boutique amp builders create a competitive and lasting business that outdoes their competition. More closing notes. I'm in no way associated to any boutique amp builder, Harmony Central, online music store, Better Business Bureau, PayPal, eBay, or credit card service. I'm just some guy who once or a few times got screwed in his tone quest, and I'm hoping that it won't happen to you. Peace.